quick intro. I still consider myself fairly new to YouTube. Right now my channel does book reviews, manga Mondays, we do some silent vlogs. Right now I'm doing a whole NaNoWriMo series. So if you're interested in any of that content, please subscribe to my channel and follow me on my YouTube journey. I also have a blogger site as well, so I'll link that down below in case you like to read reviews instead of watch them, or both. I also want to say that this book is a Lone Star Literary Life book. So if you don't know what Lone Star Literary Life is, it is a Texas-based organization that helps promote other Texas authors. So it can be any kind of genre, as long as they are a Texas author. Lone Star Literary Life will help promote them, and one way they promote them is through blog tours. And I am one of the bloggers that helps out on these blog tours. So I did get paid to write this review, but all thoughts and opinions are my own. Lone Star Literary Life does give me the opportunity to give my own truthful review. So all my thoughts and opinions are my own. They do not make me say anything specifically about the book. So Lone Star Literary Life is just a great book resource as well. So if you're interested in anything going on in Texas in the literary world, any virtual events, any up and coming authors, any upcoming books coming out, book signings, they are a great resource. They have a newsletter that comes out that gives all that information, and they update their website regularly. So I'll link them down below so you can check them out as well. So the book that I'm reviewing today is called The Love Note, and it is by Joanna Davidson Politano. She's an award-winning author of Lady Jane Disappears, A Rumored Fortune, and Finding Lady Enderley. She loves tales that capture the colorful, exquisite details in ordinary lives and is eager to hear anyone's story. She lives with her husband and their 2 kids in a house in the woods near Lake Michigan. So she's a very experienced author, and The Love Note really portrays that experience that she has come and grown with. And so the love letter is, I will read the synopsis in the back, and then we can go into the review and what my thoughts are. Focused on a career in medicine and not on romance, Willa Duvall is thrown slightly off course during the summer of 1865 when she discovers a never-opened love letter in a crack of her old writing desk. Compelled to find the passionate soul who penned it and the person who never received it, she takes a job as a nurse at the seaside estate of Crestwick Manor. Everyone at Crestwick has feelings, mostly negative ones, about the man who wrote the letter, but he seems to have disappeared. With plenty of enticing clues but few answers, Willa's search becomes even more complicated when she misplaces the letter and it passes from person to person in the house, each finding a thrilling or disheartening message in its words. Laced with mysteries, large and small, this romantic Victorian-era tale of love lost, love deferred, and love found is sure to delight. So initially, I'm not one to really read like Victorian era love stories. That's just not what I usually gravitate to. So I've never read Pride and Prejudice. I've never read like Downton Abbey or watched it. Like that just doesn't really like spark my interest, even though like European history like really intrigues me, and like I watch like all the Boylan sister movies, the Elizabeth movie, all the kings and queens. Like I find that interesting, but I just haven't really, I guess I've never given it a chance, like the Victorian era romance books a chance. So when I saw this Lone Star Literary was doing this book, I said, maybe I should get out of my comfort zone. And I do have another book that I will be reviewing next where I get out of my usual mystery, crime, manga flow and kind of reading something a little bit different. So this is very different for me. I don't think I've ever really read something like this besides if you count Shakespeare. So yeah, so I was intrigued and I was looking at it through a whole new lens. So yeah, yeah, so on to my review. So I love the whole concept of this book because it focuses on a woman who wants to pursue her career and her dreams in medicine and being a doctor. And this is in 1865, so that's not really like it was a big, like women, I don't think were really in medicine back then. So with her, she wanted to defy kind of those gender roles, and she wanted to pursue her career. That's who she wanted to be. She wanted to be this career woman. I'm sorry. And I feel like women who are career driven, even in new media, they're always portrayed as like this spinster kind of person who is lonely and kind of angry and cruel and just like lets it work. The work is her focus and nothing else matters. And I love that the author really like kind of strays away from that stereotype, because the main character Willa, she, like I said, she's very work driven and she wants to pursue this degree, and people in her society, such as her father, are telling her, well, she needs to hurry up and marry somebody. And while she does date and she does like the opposite sex, like that's just like not on her it's not in her vision path at the moment. And she's still pretty young in present terms, but back then died earlier, so they wanted people to marry earlier and have kids earlier. And so, but that's not what she wanted. And so they portray her as like this strong-willed woman who is still compassionate. She's still helpful to anybody that needs help. She's there for people. She goes above and beyond for her patients. And so she's really not like this angry person or this ugly person who doesn't believe in love. She still feels love, and throughout the book we feel her like she wants love, but she doesn't want it to like defer her from her passion. She doesn't want to get married and then she has to be a housewife. She wants to marry and still be pursuing her dreams and going after what she wants. So I think that the author does a good job at portraying her. And then also like people tell her, oh, she's like this stereotypical person, when in reality she's not. So I felt like Willa as a character, like she is an awesome person that defies the stereotypes, and the author does a great job of showing that and just portraying business-driven women in a whole different light, because not everyone thinks that about women. So it was just awesome to read. I was also surprised at the amount of like twists and turns this book had. Just like, again, I've never like really read a Victorian era book. So I'm always used to the twists and turns of my mystery crime books, and this like was no exception. This had great twists and turns throughout the story. Every chapter, every 2 chapters, like there was always like something that like made the whole story twist around. It's like, oh, where are they going now? Like once you thought you knew where it was going, it would turn. It would make a quick left turn, wherever my left is. It just like, where's it going? So now you have to like kind of follow it to see where it's going. So the author does a great job of keeping us interested and keeping you reading more, because you haven't found out the end, because you don't know where it's going. And there's a lot of great quotes in this book, not just like from the book itself. Like each chapter started out with a short quote from a scientist's observation of love, and these quotes like really preset what the chapter was going to be about. So that was kind of cool and different. I don't see like many books doing that, or I've seen some books do that, but it's like far and in between. So this book, I really enjoyed that, because I just think it's kind of just like that extra touch and thought and little detail that the author made. And I appreciate that, because I like reading quotes. So my favorite quote reads, love is not limited to romance, nor is happiness reserved for marriage. A scientist's observation on love. So I'll just show you real quick like what they look like what I'm talking about, so you can kind of see a visual. So you see like there's the quote. So again, that was just like a neat touch to the whole story. There were quite a few characters throughout the book. So like I just get confused really easily with names. So I think there was 2 people I kept getting mixed up throughout the book. But that's just me, just because I just get confused really easily. So that's just on me, but it didn't take away from the book. I just had to kind of like stop and like, this person's that person, and then go back to the story and read it. It's a really good book overall. I give it a 4 out of 5. It's very interesting. It keeps you engaged. If you're not really into romance books, this is a great one to pick up. And it was just overall a really good and entertaining read, and I recommend it to anyone who wants to pick up a Victorian era book. So that is my review. If you liked my content, please like and subscribe. And until next time, happy reading.